Good morning, everybody. What is up? Welcome to a live episode of Kojay's Corner, my podcast, where I talk about anything and everything that is on my mind and I feel is important at the time, or I just want to express it with myself, or talk about cool stuff with a guest. Today's episode, I have another content creator on my channel who I've been on his channel. He gave one of the best interviews I've ever been a part of, which is truly a blessing and a gift. He covers a lot of stuff with video games, movies, comic books, comic book content, and also about the content creation process, which is very interesting, especially if you're a content creator like me or you're curious about how that goes. So without further ado, I want to bring in my boy Illblerdmatic to the stage, and we're going to be talking about comic book characters we liked growing up with, still like, don't like, maybe, or we're looking forward, anything in that realm, and we're gonna have a good time. So, without further ado, my boy Illblerdmatic, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm glad we can finally do this.
Right. Yeah.
So you've been a content creator for a long time, or for a while. What got you
Yeah.
into this?
2018. Well, originally my channel was supposed to have been like a group thing with friends.
Oh yeah.
That never really panned out to it. Every time I would include friends in it, it was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a channel together. And it just never got anywhere. And then I just eventually just said, you know what, let me just go on and do my own thing. And that's what I had to do.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So you started in 2018. I started in 2016. So I know
okay.
things don't
Yeah.
always pan out the way it is. I was just going to game stream stuff, video games,
Okay.
and it
Okay.
turned into all this other stuff. I had no idea what it
Yeah.
was going to turn into.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's originally 2000. Like I started the channel in 2016, but 18 is when I really kind of started putting out content. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Oh, nice. So
Yeah.
you've been always organic with how it's growing, huh? And how you
Yeah.
go about it. Like
Yeah.
even now, I noticed before you didn't have all the awesome collection of Pokemon and it was that comic book characters behind you. So you're showing off some good collections. Do you have a lot of what do you like to collect? The figurines like that, or what are your favorite?
Okay, yeah, some of the figurines, as you can see, I got the Luke Cage here, you know what I'm saying?
Yay!
Got this off of Amazon for a decent price. Yeah, I collect the figurines, movies. As you can see, I haven't opened these up yet, but I guess I can show you these. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, nice.
And then I got Moon Knight. You know, I had to go in and get some of the Marvel
Ah,
DVDs. You know what
that
I'm
is a
saying?
cool cover.
Right. I love that they really have gotten descriptive with these Marvel TV shows for like actual covers. And I hope they continue doing this. WandaVision, one of my
Right.
favorite Marvel shows from the Disney Plus streaming era, the first ones, you know. So yeah, collecting movies, figurines, some of the comics too. As a matter of fact, I guess I can show you the other comic. Give me a sec. I'm gonna just move
Sure.
some stuff around. Yeah, I actually picked this up like last year. Blade, I actually got the actual original Blade comic. So I do,
Oh,
yeah,
whoa.
so it has like all the old Blade, because I didn't know Blade
Oh.
had an older look where he's got like this green looking costume
Yeah.
and
He's got this 80s look where it's all jacket and all that. Yeah.
but yeah, I got this off of Amazon. So Amazon's been having some good deals on these comics, man. Even another one I could bring up to you, because I actually got this one right behind it, is the Black Panther one.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That
so
looks
yeah, I
nice.
tend to collect comics, like you said, figurines. Some of the stuff I already had. The Thanos one that you see in the far back, I've had this for quite a while. Even the Luke Cage and even the Black Panther. I've
Oh,
had those for a while. Yeah, so yeah, just collecting movies, comics, DVDs, that type of stuff.
now, when you were growing up, were you always into comic books and movies like you are now?
Yeah. Truth be told, my mom, this she started it off. Like, she's a Marvel fan. She likes DC too, though. I'm not gonna say she just doesn't like Marvel, but she likes Marvel and DC. She introduced me to, like, Incredible Hulk. You know what I'm saying? That was one of her favorite Marvel superheroes, Punisher, and I
Hey,
guess
wow.
I guess mom kind of just was like, "Yo, look, this is some of the stuff I kind of was into, but just didn't go into like how I did, where I was all into this type of stuff." And then I got into like Spider Man and what I'm saying, Batman and all this stuff. Like she would buy me the Batman action figures. I even had the black and silver Spider Man that was like the Bruce Wayne or the '90s cartoon. Yeah, so.
Dang, that's really cool. Which ones were your favorite when you were, as a kid starting out? Was it those ones primarily?
Yes, Batman for sure. Yeah, definitely Batman. Still is to this day. I think with Batman, it's crazy. As a kid, you like, okay, it's a cool cartoon, decent storylines and stuff. But then when you get older, like with Batman, you realize like, well, Batman's the real him. You know what I'm saying? Bruce Wayne is just the persona, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like this playboy, you know what I'm saying? Guy that owns Wayne Industries and stuff like that. So this is just the image, the how can I put it? The nicer image of him, but the real person is Batman. This is who he really is.
Yeah, like when he's in his mask and he's in the suit, or if he's in the suit without the mask on the back computer, he's really being 100% himself, honest. And
Yeah.
then without the suit in public, that's the fake version.
Yeah, that's the fake version.
Yeah, it's kind of what Superman does with Clark Kent. That's a total act.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, Superman too. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, same thing with Superman. Like
get along, they see eye to eye in their goals,
right.
Most of the time.
Yeah,
so that's what I found interesting with those characters. Because
and then with Spider-Man, I would say just kind of being a brainy kid, you know what I'm saying? It's into like, certain stuff. And I was like, man, I kind of relate to this guy a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Peter Parker. And then, having the one girl that you had a crush on and you eventually asked, I'm like, dang, this like you can relate to comics, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, Aries in the house.
What's good, Aries? Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and also Aries, thanks for coming through last night. I appreciate you swinging by when you can. Some of the watch parties I do are friggin' long. Great.
Yeah.
So growing up, were those characters always your favorites, or as you got older, did you expand into other ones? And
yeah. Those were some of them, and then I had one that it's kind of such that how it actually what happened to that character. It's a milestone DC character. Static Shock was another one. It's just unfortunate, man. I found out the reason because originally they were planning on doing more another season for Static Shock, but what killed it was the toy sales. And me personally, I never saw many of the Static Shock toys. So I'm like, how was I supposed to know that there's a Static Shock action figure that's going to save this TV show that's like on the way out of WB? And I knew that. I'm like, oh, let me go grab me a Static Shock, action figure. Like, ask mom, like, yo, can I get it? You know what I'm saying? That was another character. And then I would say, let me just get into this too. I just thought about it because this is kind of Marvel as well too. I would say Wolverine from S-Man, and then Superman was the other one too. So those characters, and then I ended up going into characters like Black Lightning, Green Lantern, John Stewart's Green Lantern, because I always thought I always thought that Hal Jordan, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I always thought that Hal Jordan was like the Spider-Man of Green Lanterns. Because he just was goofy, you know what I'm saying? And just more silly oriented. And then when I saw John Stewart, I'm like, I like this one better. He's level-headed, first off. On top of that, he was powerful without the ring. He didn't necessarily need the ring to take out enemies and stuff. So I was like, this is
military trained.
Yeah.
So he had the skills.
Mm-hmm.
And also the cool thing about John Stewart, he was an architect, because the ring comes from your imagination, and he's so mechanical with his art and drawing. I think that made his constructs more clever. Like John Stewart's the man. He's up there.
Yeah.
So everyone else is using their imagination. I would say under him is probably Kyle Rayner, because he's an artist.
Yeah, Kyle. Yeah.
So he's able to use that as his imagination, where, you know, freaking Hal Jordan's goofy, you know, he's the first one, first human. But I really, really like Jon Stewart. And I love that the animated series used him.
Yeah, I was glad, because I was wondering when I seen Justice League, I'm like, are they gonna go with the one that we saw in the Superman animated series? Yeah. And I'm like, man, I really hope not. That's what I'm saying to myself, like, fingers crossed, like, please don't let it be him. And then when I seen it, I said, oh, they're going with him. And I didn't find out until like later on, like years later on, I was at my cousin's barbershop, because my cousin owned a barbershop. And, you know, we would talk about comic book stuff, hip hop music, Marvel, DC, that type of stuff, and these other things as well. And he brought it to my attention that Jon Stewart was the first Black Green Lantern. Like, he had been around for years, and I never knew that. I was like, what? I was like, wow, I did not know that. And he showed me a picture on his phone, and I was like, oh, like he wasn't lying or anything.
Definitely. I mean, Black superheroes are super, super important, and a lot of them have been made but never getting time to shine. Like Vixen, she's been around for a long time, actually.
Yeah.
She's supposed to get a title, but it never happened, and she just showed up in the background, and eventually she's part of a team, but she still didn't get a title or her own rank title comics until later, when they just wanted a lot of options, you know.
Yeah, I like how they used her in Justice League Unlimited. I like that we saw her in there and learned a little bit more about her characters and everything. I thought that was, or learned more about her character and her working with other superheroes. I know they had a Vixen show on the CWC. That was interesting. I never thought, you know, they would give her like her own.
She had her own series on CW.
Yeah, animated series on. If you got CWC, check it out. They got some animated DC shows on there.
Huh. I know she had an animated shorts or a movie straight to DVD one. I made sure I snagged that one up.
Okay, yeah, there is a series. Yeah, there's an actual series. Like I guess like maybe a 5 or 6 episode series.
Were they short episodes?
They weren't super duper long. So yeah, they were like, I guess you could say short episodes. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe what I have is the one where all the episodes are put together, because
that might be it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure I didn't miss out on my Vixen. She's
I think that's what
hero. Let's go.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. They either had a Green Arrow animated short on there, and then like I said,
that's right.
Yeah, so yeah, CWC, I guess you could still keep, like, if you're looking for like older stuff. Even had the Gotham show Birds of Prey that wasn't really that good. That's on there. So they have some DC stuff if you're looking for that you haven't seen in a while, or you just like, oh well, maybe I should check this out. I think I want to say Smallville's on there too, I believe.
Well, put all the CW stuff, I wouldn't be surprised. That one was out for a while. 10 years of holding out and showing people Superman.
Yeah.
I love or hate that. It was a little infuriating.
Yeah.
But it was a great show. So since we're going to shows, growing up to now, what have been your like favorites of TV and movie adaptations of the heroes? Like, which ones really hit it for you with the characters you liked?
So I would say the Batman animated series was really good. I didn't get into the comics years later.
Oh, okay.
Superman animated series, that was really good. I wish they would have had like another season for it. Then I would say Static Shock, because I didn't know much about Milestone and like the history behind DC and Milestone. But I was like, yo, this. Yeah, so I was like, I see this new DC show, this Black superhero, like, and then like years later, I learned about the relationship between DC and Milestone. It's a pretty ugly story if you really think about it. Like, there's been some good in it, there's been some bad in it. And it's just like, man, like, you know, and I always wanted to see like a actual live adaptation shot movie, or either at least an animated movie, you know what I'm saying? And then I would say, and I'm gonna just speak for DC for right now, but I got some Marvel ones too. Batman Beyond. I did like the new take on Batman in this high-tech future. Bruce Wayne's the older guy. He's no longer able to do it. He almost had like a heart attack on the first episode. Like, I'm like, wow, like this man still in the suit and everything. And then he pulled out a gun. I'm like, whoa, like Batman. Right? that episode, I'm like, that they premiered this on WB. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
it was
because
the first episode.
yeah, and then they had the episode with Static Shock where they actually showed the gun. I'm like, whoa, like Power Rangers Disney by DBZ for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, yo, like, boy, the censorship at Warner Brothers, like, what are they doing? Like, hey, look, man, you can show this, but don't go too in depth with this. You know what I'm saying? But Batman Beyond, because like I said, it was a new take on Batman. You had Terry McGinnis, which is pretty much Batman, but it's really his clone. You don't find that out until like later on in the series. Like with the Justice League, I think it was the last episode of Justice League, we found out he was a clone of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Amanda Waller was trying to, because she's like, oh, we need another person with this characteristic, so they can make me clone it. They're half right. But,
Yeah,
it wasn't identical. You can never make someone identical, which is why I think that was a cool story to play.
Yeah, it was. And then he had similar villains to Batman. He had like Scarecrow's grandson as one of the villains in the show.
He's part of like two daughters, the twins.
Yeah, twin daughters. Yeah, Harley Quinn's two daughters, or no, granddaughters. Yeah, granddaughters. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, it was granddaughters. All right.
Yeah, so I'm like, man, yeah. So some of the villains end up having grandkids, and then you see like Mr. Freeze, how he is in that time. You know what I'm saying? Certain Batman villains, Ra's al Ghul, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was cool because you saw some of the ones that ended up and even the one that shot me was Bane was still alive. He looked terrible though. Yeah,
I was shocked too. Like Ra's al Ghul, I could understand because he's got that immortality.
Yeah, immortality. Yeah. So yeah, from when it comes to that, but the Batman movies were really good. I always thought, I would say that the ones that came out with like I said, the other Batman actors, I think the best ones were the ones that the Christopher Nolan and then the new Batman when it comes to the guy that's playing them now, Robert Pattinson. To me, I like those guys better. Michael Keaton did a decent job. I gotta give him benefit of the doubt. George Clooney was super goofy.
Love is the best.
George Clooney was just super goofy, just like off the wall choice. Like, really? Y'all just said, yeah, he's gonna be Batman.
yeah. He was kind of strange because I didn't see him change because at the time the actor was still doing ER.
Okay.
So I felt he was trying to be his ER like charming self. He wasn't really being Bruce Wayne or Batman.
So he's living in the ER world while he's filming Batman.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. That one was super goofy. Like
I did like Val Kilmer's Batman, but it was short lived. I gotta admit, he was okay. He wasn't bad. I was like, okay, I get it.
Well, technically, there some fans of that series are telling me, and I see it, that he's still being the role of Michael Keaton's Batman. So he's trying to be like Michael Keaton. He's just a different
I can definitely see it, yeah.
But I don't like that they got rid of Billy D. Williams for Two-Face.
Okay.
I don't like that. That's my favorite. In fact, an artist, I picked this up a while ago because I was looking forward to Billy D. Williams being Two-Face. So an artist made this.
Wow.
If it would have been like him in Batman 3, you know?
Wow. Billy D. Williams was almost Two-Face?
Yeah.
Wow,
there's actually a comic book where it has him as a continuation of what would have been 3 for that movie.
I know.
So that's what my guy would forget.
I think it was Marlon Wayans that was almost supposed to play Robin. Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard about that. I mean, at first I didn't think so, but he did a good job in G.I. Joe, I thought. So after I saw G.I. Joe, I was like, oh, wait, he might have been a good Robin actor.
Yeah, he probably would have been. Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I was like, right. I was like, yo, he probably would have been a solid choice fast. I was like, man, and he still gets paid for it, though. Did you know that?
Huh?
He still gets paid for that. Even though he didn't get the role, he still was getting paid for it. Ain't that crazy?
Hey, at least there's justice there. That's fair. It's like we hired you, so we're gonna pay you. I didn't know. Oh, see, sometimes Warner Brothers is cool because sometimes they have people do like stunts or background work and they cut their scene and then they don't pay them.
Yeah, so that's true.
like I like DC, but their biggest villains is the company Warner Brothers. I can't stand that company. But yeah, wow. But also, I wasn't sure if they would use Marlon Wayans because I think he's taller than a lot of the actors that they hired to be Batman. And I don't think they could have like a tall Robin taller than Batman.
You can have Robin taller than Batman. Looking up cool, like
yeah, because his neck doesn't move. He'd be talking to Robin. He's like, Robin. You have to go up to look down at Robin. Like, I need to tell you something.
Right. But for the Marvel movies, I would have to say Spider-Man for sure. I think the first 3 Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire, phenomenal. I remember I went to go see those movies and I'm like, yo, this is incredible. Like, I mean, when I first saw the first movie, the one scene that stood out for me in that movie, and I thought it took like maybe a lot of takes. It only took like, I want to say like one take. I was like, what? The scene where MJ's in the cafeteria, Peter tries to save her lunch. That was a one take. Isn't that crazy?
Nice. I like that. I love hearing that. That's great.
I was like, yo, like I was thinking like it was a multitude of like, okay, they probably did this about 6 or 7 times. And I'm like, what? Oh, one take? Boy, that's how you knew Toby was go. I'm like, ain't nobody doing nothing like this. But I think at that time, Marvel, because we had Blade. Blade was a successful movie. Even before Blade, we had Fantastic Four. For people that haven't seen the one that came out in the 90s, good thing it did not come out in theaters. It came out. It's on YouTube if you want to see it for free.
VHS as in shops if you could find it.
But
because they had 90s Captain America wasn't popular. I think the first one was Howard the Duck in the 80s. I actually liked that one.
Yeah, Howard the Duck. I've seen that one. It was all right.
And then they had like Dolph Lundgren Punisher, which is all right. But
my mom has that movie.
They didn't use the symbol. They just gave him black suit and that's it.
Yeah, but I think with the Spider-Man, the earlier movies, it felt like the comic book. You had the stuff he's saving people from the bad guys and everything, and then you got the main villains. And I think at that time, when it came to like either Marvel, and I want to say even probably DC too, superhero movies started to become a thing because like a lot of this stuff was connected to the comic book stuff that you saw in the comics. But Spider-Man, for me, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, when it comes down to the first 3 movies, will always be the one they tried in the 90s. Yeah, they did. They tried in that Fantastic Four. It wasn't great, but it was good for what it was. I got to give it to them. I'm like, you know what? It's not the best movie. I see why they didn't release it in theaters. But it was crazy because the only actor it was only one actor that went on to be successful from that Fantastic Four 90s movie. Everybody else was like, we done. We out of here.
There's even a Nick Fury movie in the 90s too with David Hasselhoff as Nick Fury.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that years ago. Yeah, that's crazy. I did see that. Yeah, I don't even know where I saw it. I just was like looking at something. I'm like, oh, I didn't know they had that.
Hey, what's up, Luke, brother? Coming in.
Hey, how's it going, Luke? Thanks for tuning in, man. But yeah, the Spider-Man movies, I think, just was the start of like Marvel when it came the type of storytelling and everything. And then like you had the S-Man movies that came out in the 2000s right long. You know what I'm saying? So S-Man, and then you had, like I said, Hulk. I wish they would have did more with Hulk, and we kind of know why they kind of didn't go that direction. Like the first Hulk movie I went to go see with my mom, and that one that came out in the early 2000s, the first one, I'm like, it could have been better. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I felt like they didn't do as much as they could. They kind of shied away from being too comic booky. I think they were trying to be dramatic, realistic in a way.
Yeah, it did. It did feel that way. And then I even remember seeing it in theaters. The audience didn't really seem as interesting. Sometimes you go to the movie, they clap or what that energy going.
It's kind of anticlimactic kind of vibe, which is strange. Hulk is a huge character.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, like I said, but when I saw the second Hulk with the actor, I thought it was phenomenal. I'm like, yo, this is incredible.
Edward Norton, right?
Yes,
I love that one. That's my
Yes,
Hulk. That was like, oh, that was so
yes,
good. I
yeah. It
still
was a
like that one
great,
to this day.
right. It was a great movie, and it was unfortunate that he never got a chance to come back. Don't get me wrong, Mark
Well, the actor
Ruffalo.
asked for a little bit more money, or there was something like that, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go with someone else.
Yeah,
And then
that
they just
too.
did
And then I
Avengers.
heard he was trying to do the Hulk universe where he wanted to like expand on
All
Hulk,
right.
then do the Avengers, like include the Avengers in it where they meet up and then have the Avengers and Hulk all together. And they were like, no. It's good to see you guys. Yeah, good seeing you
Yeah.
too, man. Yeah, the second Hawk, agree, Cajun. Yeah, the second Hawk was the best one. Yeah, and then we got Mark Ruffalo. He alright.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what
all
I'm
right. He's
saying? Yeah.
in a weird way, he's like a soft Hulk,
Yeah.
I feel, or I don't
Yeah,
know.
but then we had Iron Man. Iron Man it was another really good comic book movie. And then when I think about it too, speaking of it, my mom's one of her favorite Marvel characters, Punisher. We had, like you said, the one that came out in the 90s with the guy from Rocky that was Punisher. But the second and third Punisher movies were by far the best ones.
Yeah, they were totally gritty and different. Like,
Yeah, I gotta say,
I like the one with
Warzone was
I
super
like
gritty.
Warzone. Warzone's
Yeah,
my favorite.
War.
I love Warzone to pieces. I still love
Yeah,
that.
Warzone. I was like, yo, this one was, and I love how it has certain comic book elements where it goes into the next scene and stuff,
Mhm.
and just him like working with other people and just the action scenes were really good in that one. I was like, man.
Actually, a cool note, the director of that, I'm a fan of her
Mhm.
work. She doesn't get enough shine. She does a
Okay.
few other action movies. Lexi Alexander.
Okay.
She's a German Palestinian
Okay.
woman who um does a lot of action movies, but she was a stunt woman first, and
Wow.
she played Katana in the Mortal Kombat live stunt show that was touring around in
Wow.
the mid 90s.
Wow.
So you have a director who's female, which is cool, but
Yeah.
you have a director who is familiar with stunt work. So she knows how to film it and use it. And I say I really wanted her to do Wonder Woman movies. I wanted her to do Black Widow movies. I wanted her to do a lot more movies. But
Okay.
I guess she doesn't have the connections or the hype or pull, but she's an
Maybe.
underrated director, and Warzone is her finest movie. And I love it
Yeah,
so much.
man.
She
Warzone,
knows what
man.
she's doing.
Yeah, them action scenes, even the first opening scene where they at the table, all the mobsters are there and Spencer
Yeah.
comes down. I'm like, what?
But also another cool note, the guy who choreographed the action scenes is the same
Mhm.
choreographer who did Mortal Kombat in 1995, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the 90s. I
Wow.
think he did a third one. He did the first two for sure. And he did the original Karate Kid choreography. Pat Johnson.
Wow.
He
Yeah,
is
that's
amazing. And he did work with Bruce Lee on Enter the Dragon under Bruce Lee. So he's got so
dang.
much knowledge. So you get that kind of choreographer
Yeah.
and with a director who understands stunt work. Mwah, Warzone. Thank you. I love that stuff. She has
Yeah,
other movies too. You
yeah,
gotta look up her
and then
stuff.
even
But
the one with Thomas James was good. Thomas James version was good too. Like
is
I
that
was
the
like,
one
man,
with John Travolta?
yep, John Travolta's in it. Yep,
Yeah.
he's the villain. Yeah.
I like the bad guys more than him. He was he didn't do much as Punisher, but he looked good.
Yeah,
That movie looked good.
I guess they told us, look, man, look good for the role. You ain't got to do all this other stuff. The other people that are the villains. Yeah, I
Kind
like
of like
that one too.
Conan or early Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like, I just look good. Don't talk.
All
Or
right.
as much.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, I thought that was dope. Yeah, the Punisher movies. And then we even had the resurgence of the Fantastic Four, where they had the two versions.
Oh yeah. They had what? It was a Fantastic Four. Then it had a sequel with Rise of Silver
Yeah,
Surfer.
something with the Silver Surfer. I think Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was main, and I think that was also when we saw Stan Lee show up in it. That was not
yeah,
in Spider-Man, because we first saw Stan Lee pop up in the Spider-Man movies
yeah,
and Fantastic Four, because
yeah.
those two were coming out around the same
Time,
time.
right?
Wow. It's kind of cool that they brought Human Torch, Chris Evans, for the Deadpool Wolverine one from that. I was like, hey, they got a little shine.
I guess they had to kind of. I guess he wanted to come back for the role, and then we ended up having good Captain America movies too. I mean, Chris
Yeah,
Evans.
Winter
Yeah,
Soldier is so good. I
yeah.
love that one.
I think I like Chris Evans as Human Torch, but I think he did a better job as Captain America. I think he really got into the character. Me seeing his origin story in the animated Spider-Man series, just how he became a super soldier and everything. Thought that was really cool. And then when they incorporated it in the movie, I'm like, okay, they incorporated in the movie, learned about Red Skull. The guy that played Red Skull, he's interesting. He's one of those actors, if you don't go get him while you got the opportunity, he's like, nope, I'm not doing it. He's the guy that plays is it Mr. Anderson from the Matrix?
He plays Mr. Anderson. He plays in Matrix. He does Lord Elrond in Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings,
and
yeah.
He played V in V for Vendetta, which I love.
Okay.
So he's
I forgot he played in that. Yeah, he did play. You're right. He did play in
and
that.
And he never showed his face. That was cool. He was dedicated.
Yeah, it's just like, man. But yeah, the Captain America movies were really good though. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I mean, the first one was really good. The second one, you could tell they stepped it up. And then, like, when I got to 3, I kind of had a change of feelings from Captain America because, like, the time when when what's his name asked him, Tony Stark was like, yeah, so you knew that your friend killed my parents? I was like, yo, that's supposed to be your best friend, bro. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, to be fair, how would that come up in a conversation? How do you bring that up? But I think he was still trying to protect Bucky the whole time, or they thought of that storyline last minute and then they used it as a device or whatever. I have some technical issues with Civil War, but Civil War was pretty much like a filler between what they were setting up with the Marvel Universe.
Right.
And then Disney bought it, and they're like, "We're gonna have a whole bunch of characters." And then it was kind of like it was that transition movie from Marvel Studios to Marvel Studios with Disney, because Disney has a different ballgame how they do it.
Yeah, they do. That's true. That was true.
Very interesting, that little transition right there.
And I like how they introduced some of the other characters. Like we saw Falcon. That was in it. And then we saw Tom Holland Spider-Man, the next Spider-Man that we grew familiar with. And then
I swear that still should have been Miles Morales. That would have been so cool if it's Miles Morales and bring Tobey back, because it has the Miles Morales thing. He's like the high school. He's younger. He has his Asian friend. He has his younger mom. It's the Miles Morales storyline all over again. Just Peter Parker took it.
Well, I'm pretty sure. Well, they already established that they are going to introduce Miles Morales into the MCU. I think once.
Yeah, I don't want animated. I mean, I like the animated movies, but we need live action Miles Morales. Miles Morales is cool.
Yeah, so apparently, from what I've actually been reading on and stuff like that, they've been saying that they are going to actually introduce live adaptation Miles Morales. I think they're just finishing off the animated movies just to gain a bigger fan base for the character, which was clever. I'm not going to lie. Cool. Sony and Marvel doing that was very clever, because they could have just been like, yo, we're going to just throw them out there, whether you love them, whether you don't like them. But they didn't. They said, okay, we're going to give you these animated movies. Then we're going to give you live adaptation. Now, I hope they keep the original actor, because a lot of people don't know. The original actor was the young man from the TV show Blackish. And his name is Miles Brown. So originally he was supposed to have been in Spider-Man No Way Home. He had scenes. They cut all the scenes out with him in it. I think the reason they did that was because it already had a Spider-Man party. You got Toby. You got Andrew. You know what I'm saying? You got Tom Holland. Doctor Strange. You got too many of these characters in one movie.
Not just that, because that's a wow factor. People didn't think they would see those characters again. Or actors. So if you introduce a character, he's not going to get much shine. Everyone's like, oh, that's cool. Whoa, that guy I saw before, I didn't know. So
right.
In a way, it's kind of smart, because it's too much on the plate. And
it
deserves a spotlight,
Yeah, I think it would have been too much. I think his character would have got overshot, like you said, because people was like, oh, Toby's back. Andrew's back. You know what I'm saying? Then we got the new Tom Holland Spider-Man. It would, like you said, would have took away the excitement, and people probably wouldn't have been as interested. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, toxic nerd culture doesn't like change, so anything new always gets a pushback. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's true,
when
Aries.
they take changes with characters, it's I don't mind it if there's meaning behind it, a lot of thought. But if it's just something to gain like shock value or just to try and reinvent the wheel, I'm not a fan of. So I got a fine line there, but I do give changes a chance because sometimes that's what makes the characters better.
Yeah, change. Yeah, I don't mind some of the changes either. It just depends, like you said. But rumor is, and I've been hearing this for a while, and I even seen like a video on it. Miles Morales is gonna appear in Avengers: Secret Wars. I don't know how true this is, but they're saying that that's when we're gonna see him being introduced into the live MCU. So I'm
Well,
like,
don't they want a new Avengers team, which is actually what happened in the comics?
yeah, well,
Because
you
if you
know, the
look at
new,
the Avengers that were led by Falcon, Captain America, they
yeah,
had
so,
Miss Marvel, the Desi Pakistani girl Marvel,
right.
Miss Marvel, and they had the Miles Morales. So all those characters looks like they're getting close to having that team, you know?
Yeah, that's
So
true. Yeah,
that's
so I'm
kind of
thinking that we're
counterproductive.
gonna we'll see Miles Morales introduced in Avengers: Secret Wars. Hopefully, if they don't cut the scene, because sometimes that does happen. And I just hope it's the original actor. I'm like, yo, like don't hire nobody else. Just go get the original actor that y'all had. Get him into a new
Wait, for
contract.
Hulk, like Mark Ruffalo, you mean?
No, Miles Morales.
Oh, Miles Morales. Okay, got you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let's get the original actor. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Because like I
yeah,
said, I think he was a good choice. I'm like, you know what? I see it. He's got the name already. That's cool, but I see it. He's a younger actor, and we don't want nobody that's super duper old playing Spider-Man. Not in a
yeah.
late 40s or 50s and nothing like that. So I think the oldest Spider-Man actor we've had, and I didn't know. I thought it was Toby. Andrew is the oldest Spider-Man. He doesn't look it though. So I was like, what?
Yeah, that actor's been around for a while, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
also makes sense why he probably doesn't return to the role as much because he's by the third one. I remember a lot of actors like, "Oh, we're doing this again. So you guys aren't sick of it?" They're like shocked. I don't
He
know if
probably
it's
had,
tires them out or anything. Like, oh,
yeah, he probably
I
had some
gotta do this
stunt
pose for
doubles.
so long.
He probably had stunt doubles for his scenes. Like, all right, I'm
Yeah,
tired. Y'all can go on me and take on my part.
he's like, "What? My fight scenes are CGI?" Yes.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think they're setting up for the next Avengers. Like I said, I know Captain America from 4, which is Sam Wilson, is going to be the new leader for the Avengers. So yeah, they are setting it up and everything. So we probably, like you said, will see Miles Morales, Miss Marvel, and some of these other characters. And that was interesting. Then I want to get into like maybe the later part of Marvel. I think some of the movies that did blow me away. Avengers was definitely were some good movies. I remember seeing the first one. Me and my mom went to go see the first one. It was a really good movie. And then you got the second, third, and then the fourth movie. I gotta say, a character that I did enjoy as much when it came down to it. I enjoy Star Lord and Guardians of the Galaxy. You kind of relate to him. I love music, so what I'm saying? That was the one thing. But the way I guess maybe it was written out that he's the reason why Thanos succeeded. Remember what he did in the movie? I'm like, no, that's because of Gamora. And I'm like, no, no.
Ah,
Like,
I
I'm
didn't
like,
get that
why
part.
did you do this, Star Lord?
Oh man.
But like I said, I like his character, but I started to not necessarily hate him, but dislike him for that move. I'm like, come on, you gonna let the villain do this? But I gotta give it to them, man. A lot of people thought that Thanos wasn't gonna succeed, and like every now and then you need a villain to win. You know what I'm saying? Yes, superheroes do win, but
Mm.
sometimes the villain has to win. And when I saw Avengers 3, I was like, yes, that's the one. I was
Oh, dude.
I was like, man, what got me was with that movie was just the fighting. The fighting was really good throughout Avengers 3. Like the scene where Thanos was fighting Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Star-Lord, and then, him fighting Hulk. That scene was crazy where he's fighting him, Hulk just giving it to him, then he get tired. I'm like, oh, yeah, that I love when they have formidable foes. Even with Black Panther with
Mm.
Killmonger, I like sometimes when the villains have the
They
advantage.
have to, because
Yeah.
villains have to challenge our heroes. I don't like when heroes are just easily going through them like Power Rangers fighting putty. It's like that's why I liked my favorite stuff was Zack Snyder's things, because
Okay.
he was putting the heroes up against the wall. He was
Right.
trying to, because and I went to a screening where he was talking about movies, and his thing was like, all right, if these characters have these ideals,
Hmm.
these goals, and these things they won't do, why don't we tell the story of when they're pressed against the wall and they're challenged with their ideals? And he's like, that's where the story is, that's where the excitement drama is. And I
Yeah.
like that, because if you
Yeah.
kind of do things kind of, well, this is just another day, another hero, wapa. We got the series for that.
Right.
But if you go cinema, let's see the meat of it. And I hear the that's what Thanos
Yeah.
provided, because I remember in the animated Avengers series, Thanos showed up in New York and the Avengers had to take him out, and that was a battle.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of that stuff I saw like similar to the other things, so I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah. That
The bad
definitely.
guys do have to win sometimes, because then there's the
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah. It'd be
In real life, the
unrealistic.
bad guys win too much.
Right. It'd be unrealistic. And I even like clever villains, though. You know what I'm saying? I like.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I like a good clever villain. Like, I know I used to watch the Flash TV show that came out during the CW era of
Oh yeah, I
superhero.
remember that for like the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, and I love Reverse Flash. He was a clever villain. Like, you didn't really know what to expect, and then you're like, oh, this time it's him.
Yeah. Those first 3 seasons are great. I like season 2, but when Black Lightning came out, I was just addicted to Black Lightning for that 4th season. I left the Flash, because after a while the Flash got a little hokey for me. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, it got a little repetitive storylines,
I
and
think
just
I dipped when they brought that guy in the floating wheelchair who was smart, who could think faster than the Flash.
yeah, I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
Interesting stuff, but I don't know. Kind of, I fell out of the loop around there.
Yeah, the guy. I think it was the Thinker. I think his name was the Thinker. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was interesting. Yeah, I think he was an interesting villain too, because he always was one step ahead and trying to. And like I said, with Reverse Flash, that was interesting. But I think with the Flash TV show, like you said, it did have a decline. Like it did have its good moments. And then after a while, it was like, man, they've done just about everything that they, and the Flash doesn't really have a big villain gallery. So that didn't really work out. You know what I'm saying? He's not like a Batman or Superman where they have a decent villain gallery. I'm like, oh, y'all milking this.
And then when you hit that point where you hit the character's limitations, because not all characters are fully fleshed as Batman or Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's when I think you have to reinvent the wheel. They gotta go forward.
DC got to make some new villains for him. They do it for Batman and Superman. He gotta get some new villains.
Characters that aren't in the comics and they do well, like Harley Quinn. She was invented from the animated series. Yeah,
so, that's what they got to start doing. Yeah, DC gonna have to pretty much level up Flash villain catalog. Like, hey, look, we're gonna add some new villains here. But yeah, the Flash series, like you said, it was good for what it was. I think I stopped watching it, I would say season 6 or 7.
Oh, you got farther than me. Did they have like 10?
Yeah, 10 seasons. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good for a show to get that far.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Because for shows to get more seasons, that's a challenge.
Yeah, I think my favorite CW show from not completely that era, but I would say Arrow was good. Arrow was really good. It did caught me off by surprise. I'm like, dang, this is better than what I thought it was gonna be. And I got into it. I'm like, oh, this is really good. Like, this is, Batman, but just to do with arrows.
Yeah, that show took me by surprise. It went hard that first season.
Yeah,
like he was shooting people, then he got conscience. He's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot their toes. Like, I don't want to kill people. I'll shoot their toes.
I guess the arrow insurance for injuries is like, oh no, you can't be doing that. You can't shoot right there. No more. Shoot at the bottom.
Tip. It's just a bunch of sticks thrown at people.
Yeah, so I think Arrow was a decent show. Like I said, I did watch that fully when it came down to it. Yeah, I think it fell off. Yeah, Flash did. Yeah. But Arrow, I think it did because it had really good backstories. Like I think with Arrow, the flashbacks really work for that show. Like some shows when they do superhero stuff, it doesn't work. But the flashbacks were interesting. And even the other thing I liked about Arrow, and we started to see that more with superhero TV shows and maybe even movies, they had a villain episode. You know what I'm saying? Telling the story from the villain's angle. I was like, wow, I'm like, this is interesting. Like they just said, hey, you know what? We're going to talk about the hero in this episode, but this is catered to the villain, learning more about the villain and his ambitions and why he's doing these particular things. I was like, it was a clever idea. And I think we see that with movies sometimes. I know for a fact, Shazam, we see the villain's story, his origin story before he meets the hero. And I was like, that was a really good idea because I'm like, sometimes you don't understand the villain's angle, why he's doing these things. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this was a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what have been your what would you say is your top 10? Doesn't have to be in order. Superhero movies. It can be any universe, any IP.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be in order, because I know that you just surprise people they're like, oh, I need to analyze a little bit more. At least I do.
Yeah, I gotta think about this one, man. I like a lot of them, man. Like,
or have 15, whatever.
Okay, so it's not the particular same. It's not the whole lineup. It's not in order or anything.
That might take a week. I don't know.
But I would say the early Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire. I enjoyed every single one of those movies, the whole trilogy. I wish we would have got a fourth movie, but that was unfortunate. I would say the S-Man movies. I say S-Man, the first series of S-Man movies. The second one that came out, First Class, I would say up to 3, 4. It was all right. It could have been a lot.
I don't remember 4. What happened in that one?
They brought back Phoenix again.
Again?
Yeah, they brought.
I thought she vaporized in fire. What happened?
They brought her back again. I was like, y'all gotta be kidding me. Like, y'all re-ingurgitated this storyline from the other movie, Last Stand. It's I'm gonna bring it back into this one. Like, it wasn't as great. Yeah, that's why as a member, it's probably one of the worst S-Man movies from that particular franchise, First Class. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it didn't really do good. Even when I went in theaters, no one really seemed excited. Even when I went, I was like, dang, no one's really. I guess everybody feel the same way about the movie. They thought it was a waste of time, probably. And I understand because I I kind of feel the same way. Like this could have just been something else. Y'all could have came up with another story. I would say for Superman movies, because I'm gonna include that too as well.
Sure.
I don't want to just be Marvel based. Superman Returns, I did like that.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah, that was a really good movie. I hate that we never got a sequel. I was like, man, it'd have been great to see Henry Cavill come back as Superman. And originally, I seen a while back that they had a villain lined up for the movie that we hadn't seen in the live adaptation. Brainiac was going to be the second villain for the Man of Steel 2 sequel. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I've heard that it was going to be called Man of Tomorrow and that Supergirl was going to be involved, but also Zack Snyder planned a whole trilogy of Justice League. It was supposed to be Justice League 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And there's a picture with Ray Fisher, Jason Momoa, Ben Affleck, and Sofia Vergara.
Okay.
The one who is the lead in Rebel Moon. I had a feeling that she was supposed to be Supergirl.
Oh, okay.
Look at Sasha Calle and Sofia Vergara, so it looks like they switched her out with someone else for contract reasons or whatever. But I think, Supergirl was going to be in there. She's going to be black hair and everything. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
I
think that would have been a more
Brainiac. It's a no-brainer, pun intended.
Brainiac.
That would have been cool because I think that director Zack Snyder could really nail that stuff.
Yeah, and then like I said, we hadn't seen a live adoption Brainiac, so I thought that was
I
really
did in
cool.
the Krypton series, if you ever saw that one.
Yeah, I saw
That show was
Krypton.
yeah, that was a good Brainiac.
Yeah, it
They
was.
did him
Yeah.
justice, and that was originally going to be a prequel to Man of Steel. So they
Wow.
just changed its look. Yeah, because the writer of Krypton is
Mm-hmm.
David Goyer, the same writer of Man of Steel and co-writer BVS, who
Okay.
is the writer of Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Wow.
And so Wesley Snipes' Blade is his version of Blade, with the black suit, not that 80s little jumpsuit. So David Goyer redefined Blade as far as redefining the wheel. David Goyer did a great job with Blade, did a great job with the origins of Superman. So when he came up with the origins of Superman with Zack Snyder, he brought that to the Krypton show, which is supposed to be that. And then the last season they had nods to Man of Steel, even in spoiler alert, in Krypton season 2, Doomsday breaks up this moon called Wegthor in pieces, or he's responsible for why it blows up. And in Man of Steel, when Jor-El goes home, you see that same planet broken up. Because the whole story, you watch it in the distance, the whole story of why that thing was broken up was meant for the prequel series. And they kept it, even though they treated it like its own thing. The story is still there as a prequel to Man of Steel. So it's like, oh, that's great. It's a shame that, things get rebooted, but sometimes they fight to keep their stories there, man.
Yeah. So it's pretty much what they call an Easter egg.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah. So you got Superman Returns. What
yeah, Superman Returns, and I know this one a lot of people don't like, but I like the director's cut of it. Batman versus Superman. That was really good.
You're in the right place. That is my jam. I love that piece. That is art.
Yeah, I like that one. I know they're talking about with this new DCU. They're talking about doing another Batman versus Superman movie. Rumor is, I don't know how true this is, but the rumor is that Zack Snyder may come back to maybe do this next version of the Batman Superman movie that they have for the new DC. And I'm like, good choice. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
he's already done that. I don't know.
I don't know how they would pull it off. I'm like, if they're gonna add more to the story that we didn't see in this other movie, that's my thing about like you can't just be like, all right, we're gonna regurgitate this same story and then boom.
That's why I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, it definitely is a rumor, and I'm like, man, it might be needed. You know what I'm saying? Just to see them kind of clash. Maybe they could do it with Joker this time around. I mean, they had in the anime series with Joker. Remember, that's how Batman and Superman met up.
yeah, they had him because Joker and Lex Luthor teamed up.
Yeah,
that's what
so they could do that. So
I don't know. I'll believe it if I see it if it's good.
Right.
But back to your favorites. You said Superman Returns. What else you got?
Batman vs Superman, director's cut. I got Doctor Strange 1 and 2, Multiverse of Madness, and then the first one. Let me see. What else do I got here? We got I like Shazam 1 and 2. I know a lot of people probably didn't think I like both movies. What else? Spider-Man, not No Way Home. Homecoming.
What's up, South Cali?
What's going on?
Hey, drop by, stop and show some love. I appreciate it, man. Welcome.
Far From Home, and then No Way Home Spider-Man. Then I'm looking forward to this 4 Spider-Man movies. I thought we would never ever see
4 Spider-Man movies. He's
right.
outrun Toby. That's crazy.
Yeah. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I really liked the first one. I didn't really care for the second movie. The first one was,
I can't stand the second one. That was beyond goofy. Like talk about George Clooney Batman. It's like what? Sometimes the production makes everything. Sometimes it's not the director.
Right. Other movies I'm thinking about too. Let me see. Okay, I said those. Batman, The Dark Knight, Batman Begins, Batman Dark Knight Rises. I'm still going. Yeah, Marvel. For Marvel, Ant-Man. I did enjoy Ant-Man 1 and 2. The Captain Americas 1 through 3.
The third one?
I did. You know what? This is the thing that I loved about the third one. I know a lot of people don't like
the third one. I didn't see the second one though, but I just jumped in blind and I was like, this is wild.
Yeah, the first 2 I saw in theaters. The third one I saw in theaters too, by the way. Yeah. So the first, But the third one, to me, I would say I like what they did. All right, Cajun. The third one I actually liked because at the end of the day, Kang the Conqueror, I like that he was a formidable foe. Like, man, Ant-Man was having a hard time. I'm like, boy, I thought Ant-Man was gonna die in his own movie. I said, no. I was like, because it seemed like every time he was fighting Kang, boy, Kang was just tearing him out. I said, boy,
I like Kang. He's growing on me.
He was a formidable villain. That's what I loved about it. I'm like, hey, he's a formidable villain. I'm like, he whooping on him. Like, and for a minute, I said, boy, they got to revive him with them Infinity Stones. And the way it was looking, I said, I said, y'all gonna have to revive Ant-Man. Look, it's gonna be Ant-Man bringing him back from the dead. I said, boy, but yeah, he was a formidable villain. Some of the stuff that they included in the third one, it was kind of odd. I just hate how they killed off a Hawk villain. How do you kill off MODOK? They killed off MODOK.
MODOK was kind of weird, but yeah, they brought him in and they killed him.
Yeah, and I would say, not just what I forgot to mention, Captain America 4. I did like how they did Hawk's villain in there. My man's with the big brain. I can't. What's my man's name? I like how they used him. I'm glad they didn't kill him off. I was like, good, because I'm like, y'all are known for killing off villains. Shang-Chi is another Marvel movie I really enjoyed. I can't wait to see a sequel for. I thought that was really amazing because I didn't know much about his character. I've seen him off and on, like you said, maybe in some of the Marvel shows they had out, but I didn't know much about his character. I'm like, oh, okay. And like his first movie was a good revenge story. I'm like, yeah, I just love a good revenge story. I'm like, man, I'm blown away by this. I'm like, okay, this is a revenge story. What's another movie? Man, Aquaman. I enjoyed the first Aquaman. Didn't care for the second one as much.
Yeah,
I thought that
one. That looked like Thor: Dark World all over again. I was like,
you know what? I like the older Thor movies. I like the newer ones. I felt like the first two Thor movies were really good. It was just darker.
I like the first two.
Yeah, it was just darker. The third Thor movie, Ragnarok, was really good. It was a misbag. There were some things I think they could have did without, but it was
like Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird to me. I can't. Though I do like the actress that they used for Valkyrie.
Yeah,
that was cool. I like seeing her get more shine.
Yeah, what is her name?
I'm spacing on her name.
Something Thompson.
She was in Dear White People. She was in
Thompson. Yeah, something Thompson. Yeah,
she's great.
She's a good. She was actually
in Creed.
In Creed. Yep, she played this love interest in Creed. Yep.
Oh, I love that actress. She's cool.
Incredible Hulk would be in there. Punisher Warzone. And then Punisher with the one before that. Let me see. I'm gonna give you some more DC movies too. Okay, I said Wonder Woman. Oh, Watchmen. I can't forget about Watchmen. Watchmen was really good. Yeah, Watchmen.
Nice. Especially the director's cut because they gave you so much.
That's what I got, the director's cut. Yep. Yeah, director's cut. I would say, let me see. I said that one. Love and Thunder got on my nerves. I can understand why. It's one of those movies. It's like with Ant-Man. I know a lot of people that don't like Ant-Man 3, but I'm like, yeah, they gave us a formidable villain for Ant-Man. Because I'm like, boy, Ant-Man was getting his butt.
Yeah, I think like King really sold that one.
Yeah. Black Panther, the first one. I would say the second one too. I like the second one, even though
Wakanda Forever was nice. I just wish we got more Shuri in action as Black Panther. It was so short-lived.
Yeah, I think I like how they introduced Ironheart in that movie. That was a really a calculated risk, I think, for them. Iron Man, I did enjoy the Iron Man movies with Robert Downey Jr. He did a really good job with Iron Man 1, 2, and 3.
That gave him his career back too.
Yeah, he had went through some changes and he did a complete 360. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What else? Man, there's a lot of stuff. Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the least popular Marvel comics. The first all three movies, I like the first two more. The third one, I kind of get why they went that direction, but I'm like, man, the first two, was great. I wish with the third movie, it felt like it was more of a Rocket Raccoon story than a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. That's how I
Oh,
felt.
I didn't see the third one, but that's cool because he's my favorite character of that lot.
Yeah, he
I
is.
really like.
Rocket and Star Lord are my favorites. Yeah. Yeah, so
Nice.
I thought for sure the third one, I'm like, they could have just made it into his own movie. Like, I would have loved to seen a solo movie on his character, like just him meeting Star Lord and everything. I'm like, that would have been a good idea.
I agree. Wakanda Forever is overly hated.
Hate
I
it, but
really
I really
enjoyed
enjoyed.
it. I
Yeah, I
enjoyed it
enjoyed it
too.
too, Aries. I really enjoyed the second
They
movie. I
made
can see.
Namor cool. Like Zack Snyder made Aquaman cool. Namor was pretty cool.
Yeah, Namor was pretty cool, and I like this origin story. You learn about a little bit who he is and the things he went through and stuff.
Yeah, and I think
And I mean, he is, after
they
all, a
didn't reinvent the
Universal
wheel.
character that we hadn't seen on the big screen because he is owned by Universal, right along with Hulk. And I'm like, man, like Universal still got some characters like these are mine. You can't use them.
Yeah. They're like, we plan to do a better job than you guys. What are you doing? We're gonna hold on a little bit.
They're like Sony. They're like, we got all the Spider-Man characters. You only giving you two. You only get Kingpin and Peter Parker. I said that. Yeah, so that's how they are. They're like, no, we ain't giving our characters back. The animated Spider-Man movies were really good. With you know what I'm saying, with Miles Morales, I enjoyed those because that introduced to learn more about the character and everything. And even the first movie had a variety of villains. You had Kingpin, Hammerhead, Uncle Aaron, that was Prowler. And then there were some other villains too. And I'm like, man, they really did line it up. And then the second one was really good. I really enjoyed the second one.
I
Yeah,
like
so
how they used Spider-Man 2099. You know, the
yeah,
Michael O'Hara one. I didn't. It surprised me. He was like the villain of it. I was like, whoa, what a way!
right.
I didn't
And
see
I
that
like how
coming.
they used
I didn't mind.
Spot, a Spider-Man villain that you don't see much of in that movie, which was a bit of a risk. I'm like, wow, this dude is a living portal, pretty much. You know, it's like, man, he had all these different holes in him and stuff. Then you see him at the very end where he's like this massive portal. I was like, uh-oh. And I even like how I even like how they used yeah, because Universal has been using Neymar mascot at their parks for all these years. I guess they said Neymar is ours.
Can't nobody take this down. Sentimental value.
Right. But yeah, man, I think the Spider-Man anime movies were really good with Miles Morales. I look forward to the third one. I know that got pushed back due to the actor having a romantic interest in the Gwen Stacy character off scene, and she's engaged and he's trying to shoot a shot. I'm like, no,
I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, I did a video on it.
Behind the scenes that kind of ruin things. Like even with Guardians, it was written by a woman named Lindsay Perlman, and she didn't get credit, and James Gunn took the credit from her. And she came up with the idea of like the whole cassette with all his songs as a gift from the mom. That was all hers. It wasn't James Gunn's at all.
Wow.
So that would make sense if he took someone else's story and then used their story as much as they could. Then when they run out of using her story, they're on their own. You'll feel the difference later. I think that's what happened.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it happens though. Yeah, it's Hollywood. That does happen where people ideas get taken and then they don't get credit for it. Man, I'm trying to figure out, man. Okay, I said that. Oh, I got some animated ones too.
Let's go. Have you seen the animated Invincible Iron Man? That is my favorite Iron Man movie of all time.
Yeah, I seen that. Yep, that used to come on Cartoon Network. That came on
they had a series. But they had a whole straight to DVD movie by Lionsgate. I don't know if you saw that
was one. They premiered that on I think it came on either Toonami. Yeah. They showed some of those.
I love that movie because I used to be an Iron Man fan, and where Pepper is older, she's more of an Alfred, not a love interest.
Okay.
And everything I liked about Tony Stark as a philanthropist, because he got over his alcoholism. That's like an old story, really.
Right.
And I really like that because recovering from an addiction and being a better person, I really like that Tony Stark.
Okay.
And so when the movies went back to the Playboy, I was like, all right, this is younger Tony Stark, not mature Tony Stark. I guess
Yeah.
the movie when he died before he get matured.
Right.
I really love that one captured my favorite era of Iron Man. So the animated Invincible Iron Man and the animated Doctor Strange, those are my two favorite Marvel movies, and they're animated.
Okay.
Well, aside
Okay.
from Blade, but I recommend those if no one's watching them yet, check them out. Those are great. I love those ones.
I would say for DC, I did like I want to say Flashpoint. That was really good. That was
Ooh.
definitely
That was a heavy hitter.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I saw it on Netflix like maybe 3 or 4 times, and then eventually got it on DVD. It was good. It definitely was good. I wish they would have went with that storyline for the Flash movie that came out with Ezra Miller. And I'm like, what? I'm like, no Reverse Flash? Like,
yeah, I heard they did their own thing, and I was like,
yeah, I was all done by that. I was like,
they were just like, hey, let's do the Marvel thing with cameos and characters, and let's go crazier, but with the small budget we got, and let's change a bunch of things last minute.
Yeah, that's what they did. They did have a cameo where you saw Batman, Wonder Woman, some other Justice League members. I'm like, now you guys know y'all could have eventually introduced Reverse Flash.
Yeah, we're doing all that.
I don't know why they didn't do that, but yeah, the animated movie was really good. To me, by far better. Justice League versus the Fatal Five. Have you seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really good. I love that we learned about the other Green Lantern. Like her story, like it had a very dark story. Like all the other Green Lanterns,
and she's new.
Yeah, she's new. That's cool. So LimeWire, her story was tragic. Like she's at this job and these people get killed, her coworkers, and she's the survivor. She's traumatized by it. I was like, man, this is pretty dark for a Green Lantern story. I'm like, wow.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. And her just learning how to use her powers. But even not just that, her pretty much getting help from the Justice League, but also dealing with Starboy. He's from like a whole nother world. He's living, you know what I'm saying, in the current era of their universe, and he's trying to readapt. He's looking for the stuff in this world that he's used to, and he's kind of like schizophrenic and just got other things going on. And you felt bad for him at the end because he ends up getting killed off, and she ended up getting attached to him. Like, oh man, like she's thinking like, oh, we're gonna be together. Nah. Yeah, but it was good. That was a really good animated movie. Another one is the Green Lantern. Did you see the one with Jon Stewart?
Animated?
Yeah.
I actually didn't see that one yet.
Oh, you gotta see it. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Like the movie, what's name's in it too? Hal Jordan's in it. But the plot twist in this movie, you're gonna be like, oh my god, like it.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I'll check it out this weekend.
Yeah, I was surprised by it. I was like, man, I was not expecting this. But the story was really good. It kind of sucks because they left it open for a sequel. I know DC sometimes does that with their movies, but you know, DC's going to this new era with the animation, and I know we're not gonna get a sequel. I was like,
it's rare we get some sequels.
Yeah, I did enjoy the another one that I just thought about, and this is like one of my big ones I can still go back to watch to this day. It is more Batman, Mask of Phantasm. That definitely was like a top tier
I
Batman.
saw that in theaters. I don't know if you know, but I'm old. I got to see that in theaters. I love that.
Now I ain't get a chance to see it in theaters, but I mean I've seen it over the years, summer camp. You know, when it was on Tsunami, and then like when I seen it on TV again, and that one, I gotta say, man, I was really surprised. Years later, I found out that they originally set up doing another movie for like a sequel to it, where he sees Andrea again. But I gotta say, that movie, me watching as a kid, I didn't quite understand like the concept behind it because I'm a young kid there, you know what I'm saying, 7 or 8 years old. But watching it as an adult, you kind of understand that Joker was a complete douchebag. So if you paid attention in the movie, he pretty much sent Andrea and Bruce back to their first date. The amusement part that you saw, that's where he was at. and that's where everything kind of just took off, like the final climax. And then a lot of people don't know this is a Christmas movie. I never knew that massive fan. But then when you hear the Ghost of Christmas, Ghost of something that Andrea says, you're like, oh, this is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, because she's like Ghost of Christmas Past, essentially, you know?
Yeah. And then I love like whoever did the voice acting for like the Phantasm part, Chucky Booker. You did this. Do you remember me?
Yeah. So there's a voice coach and voice acting casting director called her name is Andrea Romano. She does a lot of voice directing and voice castings, and every project she's a part of is awesome. She selects great actors for these roles and gets drama out. She worked on Static Shock. She worked on Batman animated series. She worked on Justice League. She worked on the Boondocks, you know?
Wow.
She's like legit. She's done a lot of, probably a huge 80 or 90% of the DC animated movies. Andrea Romano is awesome. She's got like good quality work because she knows good actors, and she works well with people, and people love working with her. So a lot of times they'll say yes. So she can get good quality because I don't know if you remember Mad TV.
Mad TV. I remember that.
Remember the UPS guy?
Yeah.
He's tight with her. He's the voice actor for Static Shock from the anime.
Yeah. I know he's talking about.
And he's done a lot of voice actors all the way. But yeah, that's one of her like go-tos.
Wow.
Dang, Andrea Romano, she's good.
And then the thing I liked about Mask of Phantasm, we see a Bruce Wayne where he's kind of like vulnerable. He's almost madly in love. He's almost about to marry this girl.
He was gonna give up being Batman for her. I was like, what?
He's ready to give up his life being a superhero in the costume to be with her.
That's why I felt Rachel in Nolan's Batman's was supposed to be like that love interest where he would give up Batman for her. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah. When you think about it,
Rachel and then her from Mask of Phantasm, it's that same type of heavy love that the only one Bruce had, because he gets a gorgeous woman like Talia who's calling him my beloved, and he's like,
beloved, yeah. But
I think by accident, but no.
Right. I think with Andrea, it was more so like he loved her, but he knew that she wasn't gonna change her ways. Like, it's like he seen that she was killing off these people, and like she just wanted to do her own thing, and then like he wanted to be with her, but she's like, no. But then I think the thing that stood out to me was the origin story of Joker. I love that. You figure out, like, and it was funny because when he found out, he's like, he put the smile on his face.
Yeah, he's trying to face.
He's like, I was like, no. But I gotta say, the movie was interesting. I'm like, man, this theme that they explored, like a love relationship type of thing, for it to be an animated movie, but also showing that sometimes you got to let love go, you know what I'm saying, for the things you really want to do, you know what I'm saying, just as a sacrifice, and for his greater cause as Batman. But also we see a much more vulnerable Batman because he wanted to be married like his mother and father. He looked at the portrait, he's looking at them, and he go visit the grave, and it's like, man, like that's deep, you know what I'm saying?
It is deep.
But what got me was the ending. I thought for sure, I don't know. I'm gonna ask you this: Do you think Andrea was afraid to kill Joker at the end of that movie? Because it seemed like he's like, look, you got me now. You know what I'm saying? But Mark Hamill's performance was phenomenal in that movie.
Him as Joker is top tier. I mean, that not just iconic laugh, but the iconic laughing. He had so many different laughs. And they didn't feel fake or forced, like the Adam West, like 60s Batman. A lot of the bad guys like it's like pretty obvious, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, get out of here, yo.
I see.
But that's what makes Heath Ledger and him so good. Even Jack Nicholson, like they found a way to have the laugh sincere, which is really hard to do. Someone who's laughing all the time, I kind of, that Joker movie I thought was great, but sometimes the laughing I felt was a little forced, like he was trying too hard. But I would give it to those actors who really did that laugh. Mark Hamill Joker is
Yeah. Did you know the original actor that they wanted to play Joker? They got rid of him. He was in, I think he was in season 1 for a brief time. The guy that played on Richie Rich as the butler. I can't think of my man's name.
Oh, what?
Yeah, he was
I
the
can't believe
original.
you.
And then they
Whoa.
transitioned to Mark Hamill being. I'm like, Mark Hamill was such a much better choice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. But I think Andrea, I mean, she had got all the revenge. I mean, killing Joker probably wouldn't have brought her father back or the other people that, did the things to her father and stuff. But I definitely wanted to see a sequel movie for that. Like I
That
thought
could
for
have been
sure.
cool because
Yeah,
she
that
didn't
would have been
die.
cool.
She's out
Yeah.
there.
I love that they introduced her back in Batman Beyond. Remember the episode where she was still masking fans? I'm like, dang, she's still out here.
That was
Out
a
here
true
masking
Batman
fans.
Beyond really did some good fan service for like what we wanted and what we're curious
Yeah.
about. I want to see more of,
Yeah, I would have loved to see her fight Terry McGinnis Batman. Like if they did like an animated movie on that, that'd have been dope to see. Like, and Bruce telling him, like, I know who that is, right? Yeah, so yeah, Mask of Phantasm. The other Justice League movie, I'm trying to remember, man, because there's a couple different Justice League animated movies, man.
Yeah, there's a bunch actually.
Yeah, so
Justice League kills it in animation.
yeah. And then the Watchmen movie's good. You seen the animated Watchmen movie?
I didn't see that one yet. Is
Yeah,
it
the
like
first,
part 1 and part 2?
yeah, part 1, part 2, yep.
Well, I finally have Max. I could check it out sometime soon.
Okay, yeah,
Was
the
it good?
Watchmen.
You give it a good thumbs up or?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it. There's even like another layer to the story that they include in it
Okay.
from another DC comic. But yeah, the Watchmen anime movies were good. The Batman and Damon Wayne, I think it was Batman versus Robin, I believe.
Oh,
that was good
yeah,
too.
that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, those were cool, man. Like I think most of the Batman, there's only a couple that are hit or miss with the Batman ones, but usually the Batman animated movies are pretty good, and some of the Superman ones are too.
Oh yeah, I really like Superman animated too because I don't know why they're not shy with him, and then when they come live with Superman, it's like either it's like some committee war with the studio and the director. It's like what?
Yeah.
Or it's just cracked out like freaking Batman and Robin with George Clooney.
And then the Wonder Woman animated movie was good that came out years ago. That was really good.
Oh, her first one?
Yeah.
Yes. I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was really good. I was like, man.
Yeah. So the director of that one, her name is Lauren Montgomery.
Okay.
I liked her a lot, and then she bounced from directing those for whatever reasons, I don't know. She did Green Lantern First Flight, she did Wonder Woman, and she did Batman, Superman, Apocalypse. Those are the 3 movies she did.
Okay.
And she had issues with Batman, Superman, Apocalypse because she's like, this is a Supergirl movie. I want Supergirl on the cover. She had to fight to get Supergirl on the cover. Then Wonder Woman's like, sure. Then they put Supergirl on the cover, but she's in her evil kind of slutted out outfit, and then she was pissed off about that. She's like, fine. Oh gosh. And then we never seen her work with WB again. But Lauren Montgomery, she directs a lot of animated stuff. Those are 3 movies that she directed, and I think she was one of the best DC comic book animated director that they should have kept or because she did great. Her action scenes in those movies were phenomenal. Lauren Montgomery, those 3 animated movies, that to me, that's her trilogy of DC movies. They're just so good.
Ah man, yeah, it happens though. Yeah, it happens sometimes. Yeah, you get over there.
1/3 of Superman Doomsday. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah, I got that.
Animated straight to DVD. Then when they started doing DC animated movies of that caliber, that was the first one of those. That was good too.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, that Doomsday. Yeah,
that made me a Superman fan again. That hit hard.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out is anything else. Oh, Justice League Dark 1 and 2. Those were good. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get into Spawn?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. Not necessarily my favorite or anything, but I did enjoy it.
Hey, what up, Hitomi?
Hey.
Nice, dude. That's a big collection. Now, not just comic books, but I want to touch briefly if we can. I don't know how much time you have. I usually do this for an hour and a half.
Oh, that's
But
cool, man. Yeah, I got enough time, man.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too long either. But yeah, you're big into video games and Pokemon.
Yeah.
Was that always a thing along with the comic book characters you were in?
Yeah. So anime, man. I grew up in the 90s, born in 89. Yeah, man. Anime, the first anime I ever got into was Dragon Ball, man. I remember seeing it on
Hey.
Warner Brothers at the time, and like it was fascinated to it. I mean, it wasn't American cartoon, so it's a bit different. Just the art style, the comedy, and just the type of storyline that they went with, where this kid's on this crazy adventure to collect these Dragon Balls to make a wish. I watched it like every Sunday. It would come on WB, and then like one Sunday it just didn't come on. I'm like, well, what happened? Like, did the show get canceled or anything? They never said like what really happened. And then like years later, it came on Tsunami, and I was like, oh, I see why they didn't keep this on WB. Some of the raunchy humor and Master Roshi, I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, what? There's some things comedy that's like a little crazy over, because it's a common joke that older men are perverts.
Yeah,
they poke fun at that. Because when I was on your show, I told you like Power Rangers is actually a copy of the original Japanese Super Sentai.
Right.
And if you watch that, they have that Japanese humor. Like they'll have girls' panties flash and old guys like, oh. And I was like, damn, they have no chill. I love it.
Yeah. So then after Dragon Ball, I got into other anime shows, stuff like Digimon,
Oh, Digimon
Pokemon.
Is great. They're bringing it back. How you liking the new series?
What for Digimon?
Yeah.
Or Pokemon?
Digimon.
Digimon, I'm looking forward to it. I watched Digimon Adventure. I know they did a reboot of season 1. There are a couple different reboots. Let me just say that. They got the movie reboot of season 1 and season 2 characters. But then they had a series that came out on Crunchyroll, Adventure 2020. That was really good. I felt like the reboot, and I know some people don't like reboots because they feel like they're not going to be as good as the original or even close to it. But the reboot to Digimon, honestly, to me was really good. I'm not gonna lie. I thought honestly, it had a lot more action. It wasn't as drama based, maybe because maybe they included more of a Western audience thing to the original Digimon. You know, I remember Matt and Ty were always fighting each other, and I'm like, come on, man. Like, how much more we get? I get it. They don't quite get along because of their personalities. Matt is kind of like, I want to do my own thing. Ty, we're a team. And Matt, like, no, we ain't no team over here. You know what I'm saying? And then they had siblings that had Digimon too. I think the story is what got me with Digimon. It wasn't, and then even just some of the stuff they introduced to Digimon talked about reincarnation, living in this digital simulation. That now it's been true that we live in a digital simulation. There's a physicist too, a black and a white physicist that confirmed that we live in a digital simulation. But this is in a kids' TV show, and not to hear years later, like, yo, this is real. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So this is storyline with the characters. Like, you know, the characters are relatable. You know what I'm saying? We all know someone that's like a Ty. You know, we got someone's like a Matt, one like a Izzy. You know what I'm saying? One like Joe. You know, so and then you got the Mimi, Sora, these characters, and I think people drew more into these characters compared to Pokemon. Don't get me wrong, Pokemon did it with teamwork, but it was different. You know what I'm saying? Like with Ash, Misty, and Brock. I felt like with Pokemon, the games were a lot more popular. I'll be honest with you. I think I was more into the games. The series, off and on. Okay, some series were better than others, but Digimon just, man, they brought it when it came to stories. Even had an episode.
Great too. I kind of liked it more than Pokemon. The action, comparing the two.
Yeah, so I think with Digimon, they had really solid villains. Even I gotta say, seasons 1 through 4 of Digimon were probably the best ones. Like I was like, man, you know what I'm saying? Because in season 2, you had the Digidestin from season 1 helping out the Digidestin from season 2. season 3, it was pretty dark, man. And I think Leo, I know every anime show has a character like this. I don't know if it's on purpose or not, that stays dying. I know with Dragon Ball Z is Krillin. But with Digimon, I have to say Leomon. Leomon stayed down. I'm like, bro, this Digimon don't ever leave. But he's the king of Digimon. I'm the king of Digimon. I'm like, bro, you still dying. I'm like, every season, bro, you can't live up to your name. I said, that's bad. But yeah, anime's been around for a while, man. I've been into anime, like I said, since the 90s. I even got busted for watching Cowboy Bebop. I shouldn't have been watching Cowboy Bebop either. I mean, but with Cowboy Bebop, I watched it as when I was younger. But when I watched it as an adult and revisit the series, I appreciated it a bit more. I think it's like that sometimes. You go watch a movie or some type of TV show that you've seen when you were a younger age. But with Cowboy Bebop, one thing I can say, don't ever go behind somebody named Vicious messing around with his girl. But the story was good. It kind of showed you that we're all trying to, some people are running from their past. And then we saw that with each character. We saw that with Faye. She was running from her past, trying to figure out who she really was. And then when she found out, she saw her ex-lover and everything. Then we had the other character that was running from his past and eventually caught up with him in 2 different ways. And then even Spike, I think his was the most traumatic because I'm like, bro, you and slept with this married girl. They, you trying to get her to come with you, like, come with me, we can live a life together, bro. No. But each character was running from something. Even the other character, Ed, I think that was the most game-changing thing because a lot of people, I remember when she left, I was like, oh, Ed left? And you could see like the sadness of the crew because she kind of brought them all together, to some degree. And when she left with her father, they were thinking like, oh, she ain't going with her father. They had their issues and certain, things. But with Cowboy Bebop, it showed you that we all have a past, but you can't run from it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a big lesson from that show. And it didn't really have like filler episodes. I know some anime shows do have it.
Well, I appreciate that. The flow of it was so good. That's what impressed me also on top of that. Because usually there's fillers or they drag it out for multiple reasons. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, but Cowboy Bebop was another one. Then I got into Dragon Ball Z. I found out years later that Dragon Ball was connected to it, but now he just
he's just older.
Hair turn and go. But I love that they had the narrator find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I love that. I was like, yo, like, what's up with this guy?
That's a very traditional thing for a lot of animes, and I like that.
Yeah.
Because, I miss that kind of 60s vibe on the next episode, He's like, oh, this keeps going. Gets you excited.
Yeah, so I was introduced to, like I said, Dragon Ball Z. I got into Yu Yu Hakusho, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, I actually like the live action on Netflix.
Okay.
They did a good job. They just don't look like the characters because in the promos they look like the characters with their hairstyles.
Yeah.
But other than that, they did because Japan has a live action, sci-fi genre called tokusatsu. That is the Super Sentai, the Kamen Rider, the Godzilla, the Gamera, all that stuff. So it's a combination of monsters and action and sci-fi or supernatural. So the Yu Yu Hakusho live action is that style of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Okay.
So stylistically, it's on point, and they covered the first season in like 8 episodes pretty well.
Yeah, they did cover. Yeah, they did the first season.
I thought it was great. They just didn't look like the characters, but they did a good job, I thought.
I just think that we didn't see enough of the story fleshed out. I mean, what I'm saying?
Yeah, that show needed 16 episodes, not 8. That's what I'm saying.
I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I was just like, man, because even when Kurama fought the one guy that can make stuff with his hands and all that stuff. Yeah, I was like, man, it'd been much better if we would have learned a little bit more about Team Toguro and stuff like that.
Yeah, we just kind
I,
of they're just kind of like the villains that you had to figure out while you're fighting them.
yeah. So I was like, man, that's crazy. But yeah, I got into Yu Yu Hakusho, Bleach. You know what I'm saying? And just like anime's kind of just been that thing. I've just been fascinated with the storylines, just the character development. Even with current anime, like My Hero Academia is a really good one. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it. I need to
Yeah.
get more into it though.
Yeah, it's really good. I was like, man, like when I seen it, I was like, man, this is dope. It's different because it's got like a Marvel DC edge to it because it is dealing with superheroes, but this kid doesn't have any powers, but he eventually gets superhero powers. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, anime has just been that thing, man. When I'm not into Marvel and DC, I'm like, man, there's so many different anime genres to get into. You got the horror, you got the supernatural, comedy, action, adventure, and then you got some that are like Mr. genres. You got mystery, thriller. I even got into shows like Death Note, which is really good too. Yeah.
I'm the same way too, because when I'm all tapped out or I'm maxed out in American ones, like I'm all about that tokusatsu stuff because I got one of the movies here.
Okay.
This is the original. Now this is trippy because you know how Marvel and DC they talk about a crossover.
Right.
Well, like how long ago was this? Like 10, 15 years ago, they already did a Marvel DC crossover. So we have Super Sentai, which is turned into Power Rangers here. Then you have Kamen Rider. Then you have the Metal Man series. 3 different universes that never crossover. And the sequel to the crossover of that one. So Japan delivers big time a lot. Like you get into it. Like fans, if you haven't checked out anime or any of this their sci-fi live action or anything, and you want more superhero stuff, definitely check it out.
Yeah, and then the thing is, there are a lot of new superhero anime stuff coming out. They even got this prequel series to My Hero Academia, Vigilante, that's coming out. That's going to be really good. It comes out in April.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so yeah,
for sure, that'd be cool.
Yeah, so I just been getting into the adventure anime that came out. Digimon, I do have this too, by the way. This is really good too. Yeah.
Yo, let's go.
Yeah, this was really good. It's a dark movie, but it's really good. I think they got like one more movie coming out for this, I believe. Like I think it's gonna be like a trilogy for it.
Oh, nice, a trilogy?
Yeah, so I got the first 2 movies. This is the second one, beginning. Yeah, this was pretty dark. The way it ended was pretty cool. I was like, okay, they left it open for a sequel. We'll probably get a 3rd one. But yeah, and then I even got into Overlord. I don't know if you got into this. More of a Saki anime, pretty much. It's really good.
I haven't checked out Overlord.
You Overlord. Yeah. So yeah, man, anime is always kind of been something I've gotten into. I just, like I said, I like the character stories, character arcs, just character development, and just the animation. Like I said, One Punch Man is another good one. It's like a comedy superhero action type of anime. It's really good though too. So yeah, man, anime is definitely something I tend to enjoy, man. I even go to cons too, you know. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, man, thank you for coming on my channel and talking about all this cool stuff, man.
You welcome, man.
Like we got the taste of what you deliver because it's so rich and you keep everyone up to date on all this news and stuff. And I love it, man. I'm a big fan of your work, and you know, you can tell you're really passionate about what you like and cover. And the fact that you also cover behind the scenes of content creation, it's like a breath of fresh air. It's like, oh, I'm not the only one going through this or wondering about this thing, you know? So that's really cool. That's really cool. Because they keep changing the rules on YouTube and whatever. So it's like, you know, people don't realize you got a lot of adapting to do or keep doing your thing.
Right.
But before we go, I want to have a little bit of fun. We're going to do a little reaction to Dorkly.
Okay.
I want to shout out to Dorkly. They do these video game like skits, and then they do little jokes about certain characters and lore. Kind of very satirical, but it's good fun. And we'll just watch one about Daredevil, Ghost Rider, and Batman.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of Dorkly before. Yeah.
All right. And let me see how I can get this so I can see the screen too. There we go.
Okay. All right.
This is gonna be chill. Let's see. So, it's very satire and little criticism, but in a fun way. All right, let's check out and react and enjoy.
This is my city, and I will protect it from those who seek to destroy it. I am the...
Batman!
What?
You're blind, and you use sonar to see, just like bats. Batman would be the perfect name for you.
No. I'm blind, and I prefer the night, just like daredevils.
Finish this sentence for me. Blind S.A.
Daredevil?
Why Daredevil? Like Evil Knievel? You like do tricks and stunts on a motorcycle?
Well, no, but I have...
I mean, that guy should be called Daredevil.
Hey guys.
Oh, hey, Ghost Rider.
What's that name that?
Well, I'm a former daredevil who sold his soul to the devil, which is how I got the name Ghost Rider.
Yeah, story checks out.
Okay, let's start over. Ghost Rider, you're a daredevil beholden to the devil. So you're Daredevil. Duh. Daredevil. You have sonar like a bat. So you're Batman.
Hey, he can't be Batman. I'm Batman. I'm a billionaire whose parents were tragically killed. Also, I'm super jacked, just like bats.
Rich, no in-laws, and a rockin' body? You should be called my boyfriend.
Hey, old Batman, I can hear you getting a boner. Shut up, new Batman.
Oh man.
All right, whoa. So yeah, that was just a little joke there.
All right.
It's kind of funny. It does bring an interesting point, you know.
Yeah. Batman said he not Daredevil. He not Batman.
Oh man, I like it. But to be fair, you know, you don't want to give away your powers to villains because a lot of people don't know the powers of these characters, you know.
Yeah.
So that keeps a mystery. But
Right.
that is a kind of funny thing. I just love the voice they gave, the dorky voice they gave Ghost Rider. Guys, I'm Ghost Rider. Oh man. So just want to have a little reaction to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not liked and subscribed to my boy Illblerdmatic here, please do so. What you got a taste of? This is a great conversation. I love geeking out about this stuff and love hearing what you like and you know, the core of who Illblerdmatic is as a geek and, fellow content creator. So before we head out, what you got coming up that you know, subscribers and viewers could be looking forward to? Plug in whatever we got looking forward to with what you got going on, man.
Uh-oh.
No, I did on purpose. You got the spotlight.
Oh. So not much, man. I got another video coming tomorrow, pretty much. I said probably I'm thinking maybe something maybe dealing more not necessarily with content, but just something maybe like advice wise. Because I have been getting into like let's talk about conversation dialogue. So that is kind of a new thing that I've been doing on my channel. Other than that, just trying to get the playlists out there. People who are really interested in the content. I got a long playlist, short playlist. I do have another podcast idea. Just haven't heard back from the person, you know what I'm saying? So hopefully maybe may see that coming up as well sometime this year, hopefully. But no, nothing really too much, man. Just hopefully people check me out. If not, like I said, just looking to collaborate with more people. And like I said, if they want me to be on their channel, I'm okay with that. Right along with being on my channel, so it don't make me no difference.
Yeah. Oh, whoops. Hey,
That's all good.
Sometimes I screw up. I'm my own DJ here. Yo, thank you so much for being on my channel. I look forward to collaborating with you again and in the future, man, because you're a good friend. We have some fun conversations and jokes on Instagram in the DMs. I love that. And I love your work. I want everyone to like and subscribe to you. There's no. It's a yes. And thank you so much for being on my channel, man. We gotta do this again sometime.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me on, man. You the first person to do that.
For real?
Yeah.
Dude, you're a gem.
I was a little nervous, man. I said, man, I'm like, really?
All the tables are turned.
Because the last time somebody said it.
You do great interviews, seriously.
Yeah. So no, the last time someone had mentioned it, like, yeah, I want you on my channel, and nothing really came through. So I was a little embarrassed. I'm like, man. But then when you kept reaching back out, I'm like, okay, he's really serious about this, because the last person, it was just like cat and mouse, and I'm just like, here we go. But I truly appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me on your channel, like being the first time, man, for everything.
Wow,
So
I didn't know that. I'm honored now. Ooh.
Yeah, but let's do it again, though, for sure, man. Yeah, like I said, I enjoy doing these collaborations. I learned stuff too, just like some of the stuff you have brought to my attention. I'm like, wow, I didn't know that about films, or like the people that were involved in it.
Likewise. And I think that's so great about the content we give, because we're covering a lot of stuff that gets washed away or forgotten or unheard of. So people who love what we love, they get to go, oh, that's the same things I love, or some I want to check out. And then you get all this information. So in a way, we're like geek journalists, or, just sharing a bunch of great stuff, which, if you want more, go on over to my boy Illblerdmatic show. I have the link in the description. Also, you're on my collection of channels to subscribe to that I recommend on my channel.
Okay, so, appreciate it.
There's no excuse not to find you, people, if you're watching this and watching the replay.
Okay.
So on that note, I'll see you next time, and you'll see Illblerdmatic again on this channel. Much love. Take care, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and yourselves and others, and God bless. And until next time, we'll see you then.
Until next time. All right, man.
Stream's over. Whoops. See ya.